Love is without doubt and proof. It is meant to be seen and appreciated. Whatever you have to prove and force is not yours, and to continue with it is a wrong way to move and progress in life. The place of God is important as you make plans to begin or start a relationship, because when you are connected and aligned to Him, you would certainly not make mistakes in the decision of who you fall in love with and decide to settle down with. He has placed His Spirit within us, which always guides and directs us on what to do and how to go about it. When you decide to go on a mission, and you have to convince the person God has shown you, it means the person is not ready for you, and you should move ahead, and God would provide another person for you. The time you might spend trying to convince and prove to the other person that you love him is enough to make progress in God. The task and assignment God has given you are much, and there is no time to waste in trying to prove something. Move on and move ahead. God, who is the master and matchmaker, would make a new match for you. He would bring someone that would believe you and obey the leadings of the Spirit of God in them. Time is of principal essence in life. Imagine if Adam had told God he needed time to confirm that Eve was the bone of his bone and flesh of his flesh. Imagine if he had told God that Eve would need to prove and convince him that she was his. It didn't happen so. He quickly reasoned and saw it, that she was made from him, because he was busy on God's assignment and was connected and aligned to God, and he needed no proof or spend time wasting on Eve to convince him that she was his. This would have taken him off God's assignment, because instead of going on and being busy on God's work, he would have been carried away trying to monitor and observe what Eve is doing and if she is his. The only mistake Adam seems to have made was not getting to love his wife. Inasmuch as we have been directed and guided by God to our life partner, no time to waste looking for conviction, but we should learn to love and grow in that love with our partner. Adam failed to do this, and she was alone and could listen to the serpent when he came and engaged her in talks. If he was true in loving her, she would have excused the serpent to go and call her husband. We don't have the time to waste or spend. Instead, we need to trust the leadings of God in all that has to do with our relationship, and let the Spirit He placed in us do the decision making. You don't know more than the doings and leadings of God. You don't know what is ahead than what He knows and what He has in stock for you. Believe and trust His leadings. You won't get it right by trying to be convinced. Get it clear from Him and how He brings it, and you won't regret anything that happened. When Eliza set off to go looking for a wife for his master's son, the time he prayed and saw Rebecca, he didn't need a second proof or conviction from Rebecca or anyone else whether she was the one sent by God or they're all by herself. He would have wasted time while Isaac was waiting for his wife to come and comfort him after the demise of his mom, and to also put him on the path to continue in the assignment that God has arranged and programmed for him. Even without seeing Isaac, Rebecca believed that God ordered the steps of Eliza rightly, and she went to take the place as the woman to walk with through to become what God has planned for his life. If Isaac has delayed to accept her, he would have missed the purpose and plan of God for his life, and would not have made or achieved the great fortunes that he achieved, because he accepted the woman that God had planned for him, and it happened so. There's no doubt when you accept the person that God brings your way, no time needs to be wasted, because the way God works and activities are not as we think or perceive things. His ways are way bigger and better than ours. We need not waste time in waiting to prove out things when God has ordered it to be so. Follow His leadings and His direction, and you would have the best thing in life than you can ever think or imagine. Like Rebecca, you must trust God and how He does things. And like Isaac, you must accept what God does blindly, and you would surely be happy in the end. She showed her fair love for Isaac by crying to him about her childlessness, and he in turn went to God. This is what you get when you build on the love that God has given you. No room or space for doubt or looking for conviction. In the walk and work with God, faith is important. It is seeing it the way God is seeing it. It is believing it even before you see it. It is following the leading of God blindly without questions. Zechariah questioned the angel of the Lord who told him that his wife would be pregnant and give birth to a son to be named John. He doubted and questioned how it would be, and he was immediately made dumb. Mary didn't question, but pondered about how it would be in her heart, and she won. She never knew the whole meaning, but kept believing and seeing how things were being unveiled. Abraham didn't doubt when God called him. God didn't show him the end or where He was taking him to or what He would give him. He simply told him, "Leave where you are to where I would show you," and he got moving. This is how it is with the partner that God has shown you and led you to. If you are looking for conviction and proof that the person is from God, then you don't trust what God can do and what He is capable of doing, and you aren't meant to receive the favor He wants you to move into. It goes the same way that if your partner needs you to convince him or her that you love him or her, when it is clear that it was God that brought the both of you together, don't waste time, because it would be a fault-finding session and season that would bring quarrel and issues. Simply move on and let God bring another person. Wait, that person doesn't need you. Wait, that person has lost you, and God would bring another right person your way. Ruth knew she was guided to the farm of her future husband, and when Boaz saw her, he wasn't confused either. He knew it would end in a glorious home being built. Notice that in the account in the Bible, there was no place where he asked her to marry him or where she accepted or requested to marry her. It was clear, and their heart was on it together. They knew that they wanted and were ready for it, and it was the ready heart of Boaz that brought speed to the matter, and everything was done well, and they would always be remembered in the account and lineage of King David. You don't need to doubt or question the person that God has brought your way. There's no time for such lasciviousness. There's no time to spend monitoring and investigating. God has done that for you and has brought the perfect your way. Accept the person with all your heart and always pray to Him for the grace that the union last, and may His purpose and plan for bringing the both of you together with be established. He is the author and perfecter of everything, and the good He has started, He would carry it to a perfect conclusion. Even when it seems not to be what you wanted, accept it in good faith, because good would come out of it. This was what happened to Jacob. He never bargained for Leah, but she came and he accepted her and waited for the one he also wanted and loved. Had Jacob refused Leah and needed someone or something to convince him that she loved him, she would have probably left, and the children that came through her won't have been a reality. Accept it in God's way and method. It would be to your good and benefit at the end of the day. You don't need to convince someone that God has brought your way about the love you have for them. If you are unable to see it, accept, and appreciate the love, then you need to let it go and wait on God to bring the person that would realize and see the love you have for, and the love they would also reciprocate and show you. Accept God's love and follow His leading to the end.